Hello, and welcome once again to the Dental Marketing Mastery Series. This podcast is brought to you by New Patients Incorporated and NPIClick.com. I'm Howie Horrocks, the founder of New Patients Incorporated. Along with me once again is my friend and partner and the president of New Patients Incorporated, Mark Dilatush. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Dental Mastery Marketing Podcast. I'm here in Vegas. This is Howie Horrocks, and we've got our good buddy Mark Dilatush out there in Jersey. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing just fine. I do not live in a microwave, so I'm doing finer than you are. I know it's hot there now. It's been hot and sweaty here as well.
Yeah,
but that's okay. It's the summer months. We get to relax and do podcasts and.
Yeah, it's so hot that the girders on the new Raiders stadium are melting, so they're going to have to redo the whole damn thing.
That's okay. That's all right. So what are we doing today?
Yeah, we're doing. We're going to talk about preparing your marketing for the year 2020.
Wow, 2020. Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah, no kidding.
Time flies. Wow. Okay. So we normally get people ready for their following year based on our data insights for how we see the offices that we help. We see the data for all the offices that we help. So it's pretty easy for us to see the indicators. It's not difficult at all. And for the most part, I'm going to say 95% of the people that we help are doing well. I mean, dentistry itself is on a rebound, so we expected them to do well. We're not saying it's all our fault, but, dentistry is on a rebound. So between 2008 and 2014, somewhere in there, 15, dentistry was still kind of either going down or just trying to find a bottom. And now we're in the middle of a fourth year of a recovery, and dental practices are actually, most of them are becoming overheated. So if you're a rabid fan of these podcasts, you've heard Howie and I, especially me, rail on the dangers of being over capacity and how to recognize it first and how to get yourself out of it second. And we do that not because we want to, repeat ourselves, but because it really does damage to the work that we do. I mean, dentists trust us with their marketing budgets, and when they're over capacity, the marketing budgets don't go as far as they could, right? So we see that.
Right, and they don't have any place to put their new patients.
Right, and the new like it's one of those things where you don't know what you don't know, right? Like the doctor doesn't know that the lady would have scheduled if there was an opening next week, but there's no opening for 2 weeks, so she went somewhere else. Like the dentist never knows that. That lady is never going to call that dentist and tell that dentist that that's the reason she made that decision, right? So it is a big deal in 2019. It's actually in my entire career. I don't think I've seen more overcapacity in my entire career than 2019. I'm not going to say it's an epidemic, but I'm going to say for everybody listening to this, if a new patient can't get in prime time within 8 work days, you have a problem. And so take a deeper look. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole scenario now, but that's the first thing you do to plan for 2020 is to make darn sure you are painting 120% of last month's new patient volume into your schedule for next month so that as you grow, you have a place for them to go so that you're not constantly booked out. And you do that every month, 120%, 120%, 120%. And yes, you're going to hit a month where you have to fill whatever, 3 or 4 primetime appointments. Boo-hoo, right? I mean, it's not going to kill you to fill a primetime appointment. Everybody wants the primetime appointments. So it's not hard. No, don't let anybody on your staff tell you it's hard to fill a primetime appointment. I'll just call them liars. Anyway, so just keep doing that through the rest of 2019, and that will really help you prepare. And again, this is only if you're still in growth mode, right? If you're in growing capacity, or if you're into maybe going to bring on an associate, or maybe you're going to bring on a whole other dentist, or maybe you're going to expand hygiene, or maybe you want to grow into maybe bigger cases, right? Maybe you ratchet down the general dentistry marketing and ratchet up the niche dentistry marketing. No matter what your situation, no matter where you are in your career, it always pays to stay on top of this capacity issue and manage it appropriately. It's not hard to manage, just a couple of numbers. It's no big deal. Anyway, so that's the first thing you do is measure your capacity. Take the next 2 or 3 months to get it fixed, before 2020 hits. What else did we do? What else became wildly popular 2017, 18, 19? 2017 review, 2018 reviews. If you haven't fixed that issue yet, get it fixed. That's one of your priorities for 2020. If your website is 4 or 5 years old and, looks like the technology that built it is 4 or 5 years old, 2020 might be the year that you redesign, just get it done, get it refreshed. Therefore, about every time you trade in your iPhone, you should probably have a new website. Okay, maybe a little longer than that, right?
Your Android.
It's not financially prohibitive anymore, and the website is actually kind of like it's like Central Station in New York, like Penn Station in New York, where all the buses and all the trains and all the subways stop. That's your website. That's where almost, even offline traffic goes to your website. 60-70% of them go to your website first before they call you. Almost all your online traffic goes through your website. So that becomes something that you want to keep very refreshed. So do that.
Yeah, and you're right about I'm sorry, Mark. You're right about that. It used to be hugely expensive to redo or upgrade a website. That's all changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not expensive, right? It's not stressful. It's not detail oriented. It's not. Technology evolves over time, and obviously, we're about as high tech as you get. So we evolve our tech over time, and it really, really makes it more efficient. And with the efficiencies come cost savings, right? And with those efficiencies also come stress savings. Now we don't have to really worry about all those emails and domain renewals and hosting renewals and SSL renewals and all that stuff. We have systems to help us with that. Anyway, so 2020 might be, you're going to have to do your own assessment, or you can always call in here to an advisor and get on the phone with you and assess what you have. But you might want to assess or reassess really that key central component to your whole marketing plan, which is your website. We're on the phone all the time. We're on the phone all the time here with folks, and they'll say, yeah, my website is drschmo.com. And we go and look at it, and there's, there they are, the patients, reclined in the chair, doctor masked, gloved, loops, right? And it's just right. We see this stuff constant. It's actually more common than not seeing it, is seeing a consumer scary picture.
Yeah.
The exact place the consumer does not want to be right now, right, is reclined in your dental chair
exactly.
And you're putting it right up front and center on your website. So anyways,
you're reminding them when you do that of that sound, the zit, 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 which is exactly what they don't want to hear.
And the smell of enamel dust, right? So you don't. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting into the we're getting into the dirt here, but reassess your website, okay? Because these things like reviews can stop you from getting new patients. Websites can stop you from getting new patients. Here's another one that for many of our leading edge clients became popular 4 years ago, but online scheduling. If you have any connection to me whatsoever in social media or on some dental forums, you know how much of a vocal proponent I am of LocalMed.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you understand why, I see the data, okay, then you may say to yourself, hey, man, I haven't done it yet, but maybe 2020 or the end of 2019, maybe I should actually look into this thing. You won't be the leading edge dentist in your market because I can almost guarantee you there's more LocalMed users in your market than just you, but you also won't be the last. You won't be the last dentist to offer online scheduling to not only to your patients, but to your newer patients.
Yeah.
So there's 3 things right now that you can assess on your own, just do an honest assessment of your website, please. And if you can't, like if you did it or your spouse did it and you can't judge it on your own, our advisors will take a look at it. Actually, they can run a competitive analysis of your website against your, the other dentists in your market too, and just send it to you. Anyway, so do an analysis, do an assessment. Here's what we call it. We call it assets and liabilities. Yeah. What are my marketing assets? Being number 1 or number 2 in Google reviews. Awesome asset. Right? Okay. If you're number 3, you might need a little more work. If you're not there, you definitely need work. If you're not showing up in Google Maps or Google Places or in the listings below there, we got to work on that.
Yeah.
Right? If your website is stale, old, cheap, whatever, then we got to, that needs work. So basically, this is like a self-assessment that we're asking you to do to prepare you, for your marketing for 2020, because nobody has an endless marketing budget. No dentist in the history of our company walked up to Howie or I and said, here you go, here's a Amex Black Card with no limit. Do whatever you want. You see how funny that sounds? Like no dentist ever does that, right? So everybody has to live within a marketing budget. Everybody has to take that budget and basically prioritize it. So this self-assessment is important toward that prioritization. You know what, Howie?
Yeah.
Let's might be a good time to take a break.
Yes, let's do. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We create gorgeous dental websites. They are easy to navigate and responsive to whatever device the consumer is using. You will always be proud to show off your practice website to others. We've also removed all of the hassle out of building, maintaining, and updating your practice website. Your website will be automatically upgraded every 3 to 4 years at no extra charge. We also pay your hosting, SSL, and domain registrations while you always maintain ownership. For more information, visit npiclick.com.
All right, we are back and we're talking about preparing your marketing for 2020.
So self-assessment. All right, now those are the assets that you likely either have, are working on, or need to work on. So let's go through what you were doing in 2019 and how it turned out. If you're not a client of ours, then you may not have a dashboard that shows you your calls, and you may not get a cross-reference if you're doing offline promotion like we do. So you have to really be honest with what is working for you or not working for you. If it's working for you and it's within your budget, do not change it. And we're telling you this as a marketing firm that could easily sell you something that we do, but we're telling you don't. If you came to us and said, hey, man, this is really working for me, we would not change it.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's insane. That's the definition of insanity. Okay. You don't take something that's statistically working and change it, right? You just do more of it, right? It's kind of like playing roulette, and you know 00 just came out, but you also know that it's going to come out next time too.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. You know, if I just do more, it'll work twice as well, right?
Yeah,
so no, we don't swap anything out that's working.
I'm sorry, and that is a good point though, because that can become confusing when you're trying to analyze it. You're thinking something isn't working when it is, because you have bad data, or it gets incorrectly put into your practice management software. So, a working marketing effort could be disguised. Conversely, it could go the other way too. You think it's not working and it is. You think it is working and it isn't. So that's where
we have a
good
client,
data comes in.
Yeah, we have a client that he's a friend client, right? And none of his marketing ever works. And the reason is because none of the sourcing, none of the calls, none of the cross references are ever valid, because he has a referral reward policy in his office. So isn't it amazing that every new patient that comes into his office was referred?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? It's unheard of, right? That's a statistical anomaly. Okay. And I affectionately told him, I said, Dr. Smith, I said, you're never going to be happy with any of your marketing ever, because of this referral. You give your staff dollars to refer people. Of course, everyone that comes in that's new is going to be referral. So anyway,
oddly enough,
it's just amazing how that worked out. So anyway, okay, we digress. Let's move forward to, we did self-assessment, and if you want, we can. The advisors here can assess and give you a report if you want. Okay, so that's reassessing 2019. That's where you are now. Now, where do you want to go? This is where we tell you if we are bearish or bullish on dentistry moving forward. And those of you who have been with us through these podcasts, this is, I don't know, I have no idea how many podcasts this is, but we've been communicating to dentistry what we see coming. And during the recession, we pulled everybody out of niches. We pulled everybody out of elective dentistry, grabbed all their money and said no, pulled it all back into family dentistry, the core staples of dentistry. And honestly, we wouldn't let them out of there until maybe like 2015, 2016. Last year, we said, you can put maybe 10 or 20% of your marketing budget into elective. Now, what do we mean by elective? So let's just use numbers. Let's say it's a $60,000 a year marketing budget. So $1.2 million practice, 5% of $1.2 million is $60,000. $60,000. Let's say it's a single doctor practice, and it's so close to capacity, and they have their website, they have local med, they have their reviews. In other words, their assets are lined up. They're working pretty good, and they're doing pretty good in their market. And the doctor comes to us and says, this bread and butter dentistry is great and all. It makes for a busy day, but I really like to do more X. The dentist listening to this can fill in X with whatever you want. It could be implants, sleep apnea, patient sedation. It could be face cosmetics, whatever you want X to be. Okay. What we're going to tell you is that looking forward, even though this has been a rebound, the most encouraging piece of this rebound has been the stabilization in housing prices. The fact that our leaders haven't pushed us over that edge again in order to overheat the housing market. But housing prices are stabilizing, credit markets are stabilizing. People can go out and get credit again, and they can actually tap their credit cards and eventually pay them off with home equity. So, which is where we used to be. Remember 2003, 4, 5, and 6? That's where we used to be. Okay. We were just doing too much of it too fast. Okay. So anyway, so we're pretty bullish on dentistry. We don't think this rebound's going to stop. And for all of our clients who are at that point where they're close to capacity, bread and butter dentistry, they'd like to do a few more big cases. And instead of working more hours or bringing another dentist in or maybe in combination, they want to do more big cases, more fun cases. Then, we're probably going to say 20-25% of your whole budget could go toward that niche. Maybe even up to 35-40, depending on, the situation. If it's a solo dentist, then it's not much of a risk if 60% is being spent on bread and butter dentistry and 40% is being spent on whatever niche the doctor chooses. So from a budget allocation standpoint, we're bullish on dentistry. We don't think it's going to stop. We actually think it's going to continue. Obviously, we don't control it. But we don't see any indicators that tell us that it's going to stop. We see all indicators saying this is going to continue. Now, for the aggressive dentists out there, this may be your expansion time. Either a second office, add chairs, expand hygiene.
Yeah.
Maybe associate, another dentist, right, or another office, or this may be a real good time to jump in into that portion of the market because it is. I'm not going to say it's red hot, but it's certainly in the middle of a rebound, and we don't think it's going to stop in 2020. We think it's just going to continue. So, having said that, then. You would look at your marketing budget and you probably wouldn't leave it at the 4 or 5% it's at now. You might want to add a quarter point, maybe a half a point of a percentage point, just to make sure that you can fill whatever expanded capacities, you happen to create for yourself. Either way, it's on a case-by-case basis because if you're going to start up a brand new practice, then your budget is based on something different than a percentage of revenue anyway. So, but bottom line is 2020 is when, for those of you practicing back in 04, 05, 06, and 07, 2020 is going to be not going to be that great. Everybody's not going to want porcelain that walks into your office next year. But there is a market. There's a much larger and broader market for elective dentistry now than there has been since March of 2008. So it would be a good thing for you to take advantage of when you're planning for 2020.
Yeah. On that optimistic, uplifting note, we're going to call it a day for this podcast.
We always run out of time.
We're certainly glad to have you out there in the audience, and we hope you'll join us again next time. Bye now.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. You can get all our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn.com, and on our websites newpatientsinc.com and npiclick.com.